light of day. Well, let's take it now to a very interesting topic where we want to talk about the gaps around having robust small businesses in the country. Well, our guest in studio this afternoon that we spoke to earlier, that is Victor Otieno, the CEO for Victor Consult. He'll walk us through the path on coaching and mentorship. Here's that interview now.
I think the enthusiasm is there. If you look at the sheer number of small businesses in Kenya, they represent 98% of all businesses in Kenya. So in terms of enthusiasm, it's there. I think the challenge that they continue to face is what is really hindering their growth and recognition globally. If you look at the critical challenges that SMEs face, one of them is usually information, the lack of thereof, and the skills gap. So you'd find a beginner would resign from KTN and go start a business. You realize that your educational background is journalism. And if you go into business, it requires a different skill set. So for a long time, SMEs have struggled with that. We did a study last month titled State of Coaching and Mentorship on SMEs in Kenya. And the whole idea of the study was to figure out how entrepreneurs learning, how are they getting information if they're not going to school? Because again, going back to the university or college is very expensive and time consuming, which both resources most entrepreneurs don't have. So from the study, we realized that entrepreneurs are actually tapping on mentors. And by mentor, it's just basically an elder in the village or in the estate, or someone who's done business before and is seemingly succeeding. So that's one kind of avenue where we are seeing, entrepreneurs tapping into to get information.
But is that sustainable?
What we should realize as Kenyans is you cannot copy paste models that don't work in Kenya. So if you go, for example, to Kariokor or Gikomba, you'd find a lot of entrepreneurs clustering together, and they usually learn in one way, either through their chamas or whatever saving groups that they have. So it's those avenues that we should, even as experts, to try to harness to be able to see how we can actually improve those processes. Because for sure, you can't get a trader from Kikomba going to school to learn about communication skills or leadership skills.
Even HR.
Or HR.
That's true. And Victor, you raise a very pertinent question around coaching. So in terms of the needs analysis, what needs to happen so that we can have more young people being able to get coaches to help them go through their business cycles within the required parameters? Of course, many say entrepreneurship is a risk. You can make it or you can fail to make it. But is it a bit outdated when we work with that mentality? Because someone is putting in money. Some entrepreneurs quit employment, like you gave an example with myself. I'm seeing myself still being in the industry though, but if you look at the number of friends, the number of stories you get to hear whenever you meet people over your free time, you realize that people are getting loans, starting businesses that they're not so familiar with. At the same time, they are thriving on luck, which is a very, very, should I say, slippery path to take as an entrepreneur, rather than building your business on fundamentals.
One thing that we always advocate for as VIFA is to approach business from a scientific point of view. What do I mean? It means that before I start, can I do a simple business plan? And by business plan, I don't mean a technical document. It's just trying to figure out what the market is, who am I going to sell, who are the competitors in the space. So I think that's a culture that still, as Kenyans, we are slowly trying to embrace. But I think what we've seen from our studies is as soon as you start your business, your first point of coaching or person that mentors you is either family, friends, or just an authority figure within your locality. So as you get revenue, and again this is based on a study, as they grow in revenue, the personality or the demography of the coach changes. So as they start with family and friends, they go to chamas, Yeah, then you probably go to an association. Then probably you're going to a paid coach or a paid mentor. So that was an interesting finding from at least from our perspective.
Okay. And what needs to change, especially now that the studies are pointing at the gaps? For instance, what would be your recommendation, especially for SMEs that are transitioning into that phase?
What we've seen, for example, Kenya Association of Manufacturers open an SME hub. So this is a simpler way of trying to aggregate SMEs into one entity and probably disseminate coaching or training or capacity building of whatever nature. And again, this Kenya is almost top 3 in terms of innovation if you look at the global innovation index. So, and this is obviously underpinned on the number of growing hubs, co-working spaces in Kenya. So probably SMEs can be able to tap in, or even startups can be able to tap into some of these spaces for them to actually get to build their capacity in whatever.
All right. And